Chapter 1, Bhagavad Gita, observing the army in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So over the year, our society, our friends, our colleagues, and our media has painted a perfect picture of success. And we pursued that perfect picture of success as a benchmark of success. But at times, at a certain point of time, we begin to question that the materialistic goal of life, the aspirations, the material achievement is really the milestone of success, really makes us happy. Is there any deeper purpose of life? So spiritual life begins with the doubt. And this is the very doubt Arjuna had in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And whole philosophy of Bhagavad Gita evolved on this doubt and questions by Arjuna to Krishna. The protagonist of Kurukshetra war, Arjuna, was facing a very ethical, existential, and psychological dilemma, psychological crisis while executing his duty. And he wants to understand what is the real purpose of life. He has this fundamental question: what is reality? What really matters? What is the purpose of life? The divine conversation between man and God is set on a warfield of ancient battle that answers the weightiest life question with great ease and clarity. Because every one of us in somehow and other anxiety due to material existence. Our existence in a non-existential atmosphere. Therefore, we are threatened every moment. Although as a spirit soul, we are meant not to be threatened. But due to this existential dilemma, the dissension, we are frustrated, we are confused. What is the purpose of life? Why the death enforced upon us? Why the misery enforced upon us? So Bhagavad Gita philosophy is the entitlement of those intelligent class of people who ask the awkward position of the life. General understanding of Bhagavad Gita in this fast-paced life of, enormous stressful life, exceedingly busy life, it's just like armchair philosophy or a old man favorite recreations or a book to be kept in a shelf or dainty room for collecting dust or a complex philosophy to dust. But it is not so. Bhagavad Gita is the sovereign knowledge, the king of education, as proclaimed by the Lord himself. Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam. Is the purest knowledge which guides us to a proper action and subsequently leads us or eventually leads us to liberation from all this material existence of niche science. So Bhagavad Gita is meant to deliver the mankind from the niche science of material existence and bring us back to a spiritual existence where there is a very absence of anxiety. So Bhagavad Gita starts to the inquiry of Dhritarashtra, the blind king, to his secretary Sanjay, that the current status of the battlefield. Sanjay, who is being endowed with a power to vision, although he was staying very far away from the battlefield. Dhritarashtra Uvacha Dharmakhetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Jujusavaha Mamaka Pandava Chaiva Kim Akrupa Sanjay. So Bhagavad Gita is, as I said you, that spiritual journey starts with a doubts. D stand for Duryodhan and Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra mentality in the very beginning of his inquiry is revealed, that how he is so desirous to have the kingdom, to usurp the kingdom from the Pandavas. Actually, Arjuna didn't want a war. Pandavas did not want a war. But due to the obstinacy and selfish aspiration and motive of Dhritarashtra and his son Duryodhan, the 640 millions of people gathered at the ancient warfield, Kurukshetra. So here, the Dhritarashtra mind is revealed that he is very desirous. At the same time, he is fearful because of the influence of the holy place, Kurukshetra, that may impact and influence the outcome of the result, because Pandavas were very righteous, but his sons are not righteous. So it is always, the outcome is always in the favor of Pandavas. And he also doubtful because he knows that this place, Kurukshetra, is very, very pure and very sanctified place. It may influence his son to compromise. He do not want to compromise because he thought that my side is outnumbered than Pandavas in terms of material strength. And he is also partial when he is saying that my son and Pandu's son, although both are from the same lineage. And Duryodhan, by this, the Sanjay responded this question to encourage his king that there is no compromise. Your son Duryodhan, after overlooking the army of the Pandava side, he approaches his guru to analyze this situation, war situation. So Duryodhan here, mentality has been already revealed also. He is fearful that how this large number of army could be gathered by the Pandavas, because their kingdom and financial source has been checked by him. And Duryodhan is boasting that our military strength is far more greater than the Pandavas one, due to the presence of the great warrior like Bhishma, Drona, Kanna, Vikanna. Despite his boastful words, the ominous, O stand for ominous result of the war is very conspicuous when the Arjuna and Krishna, the Supreme Lord and Arjuna, sitting on the chariot ridden by the white horse, blow the counsel, their transcendental counsel, Panchajanyam Hushikesha Deva Dattam Dhananjaya Pandrundudmu Mahasanka Bhima Karma Brikodhara Ananta Vijay Raja Kunti Putra Yudhishthira Nakulasa Devasya Sugasa Mani Puspaka. So these are the transcendental counsel that shattered the heart of the Kauravas. Also the presence of Krishna is very conspicuously, evidently indicates the victory of Pandavas. Resam Pakhye Janardhana Jayatum Pandavas Resam Pakhye Janardhana. Wherever there is Krishna, there is victory. And also the chariot has been presented by the Agni Devi. It's a special chariot. And the Hanuman is emblem of Hanuman is on the chariot of Arjuna, is also indicates of sign of victory for the Pandavas. At this juncture, Arjuna asked Krishna to draw the chariot in the middle of two armies to finally have a look who are the fighters who would like to come here to fight, and whom he is going to contain after seeing all these different grades of his relatives, friends, father, grandfather, teacher in the opponent side. Arjuna was overwhelmed with compassion. He was uncertain whether to fight or not. He was bewildered because of family attachment and thinking in terms of I, me, mine, in terms of his personal interest and personal satisfaction. He decided not to fight, with giving a reason that fighting is not at all justified, because after all they are my relatives, and killing them in course sins. Also, there is no question of happiness without the relatives. And importantly, if the elderly people of the dynasty is destroyed, then entire culture of the dynasty is destroyed. As a result, religious activities has been stopped, and the womanhood will be ruined, adulterated, and exploited by the unscrupulous person. As a result, unwanted progeny will be created, which disturb the progressive development of the society individually and collectively. And he was very overwhelmed with grief, thinking of the outcome of the war. And he set aside his bow and arrow, sat down in the chariot. This is the end of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1. And we get the lesson. Arjuna is actually an eternal associate of Lord. He cannot be bewildered. But he is representative of us, because Krishna is making Arjuna, and through Arjuna he is teaching us that material attachment is causes of bondage, material bondage. As a condition, as representing a conditioned soul, Arjuna was attached bodily. That he is thinking, I am Arjuna, I am belong to Kuru dynasty, and these are my father, grandfather, teacher. And as a result, he is so attached to them, and he lost his purpose of life. And in this way, bewildered. So if a person is thinking in terms of I, me, mine, just satma buddhi kunape, it's like an animal consciousness, just like an animal is thinking, I am this body, I am this dog, I am the hog. And that will cause the greatest frustration, confusion, also bondage. This is the lesson we learned from the Bhagavad Gita chapter 1. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Bhagavad Gita ki jai.